In this soul session, we're diving into what trauma is, how trauma affects the brain and body, and 9 free tools that you can use to heal trauma. As always, chapters are added for your convenience. Alafia, divine souls, let's dive right into it. What is trauma? Trauma is any life experience that causes pain on a physical, emotional, mental, and soul level. It's a degree of trauma. From a car accident to war, from abuse to heartbreak, from grief to not having our needs met as children. Different degrees of trauma happens to someone at every point in life. When we are holding on to the wounds of trauma, we're not living life. We are surviving in the shadows of trauma, weighted down by the symptoms of depression, anxiety, chronic pain, and addiction to something on some level. But we're not put on this earth to merely survive, but to transcend the shackles of our past and thrive in life, fulfilling our purpose and destiny. So how trauma affects us? All of life experiences, from joy to pain, sunshine and rain, happens on 2 levels. The first level is the physical. The brain, the muscles, the organs, bones, blood, and hormones, all of the other tangible parts of our body. The second level is the non-physical. The thoughts, the emotions of consciousness, the things we can't see with our eyes. When it comes to healing trauma, both levels must be addressed. So what happens to our body and consciousness when we experience a traumatic event? Let's start with the physical body. Now, this process of experience occurs for life in general, but for the purpose of this soul session, we will focus on how we process painful experiences. The experience of a traumatic event is received via our 5 senses: sight, smell, touch, hearing, and taste. The data from these 5 senses is then analyzed via our brain and our nervous system that sends messages through electrical signals and chemical reactions that put our bodies into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode to whatever experience that we are perceiving as dangerous in order to protect us from pain. Now here's the thing, those electrical signals and hormones get stored in our muscles, our tissues, and our cell, all the way down to our DNA. The human body is literally a quantum computer, which is why the process of transcending trauma must include practices that release trauma from the body as well as our consciousness. It's science. So now that we've covered the first level of the physical body, let's dive in to the second level, the non-physical body. The non-physical is what the average person can't perceive with their 5 senses. This is the unseen quantum aspect of our mind, emotions, the spirit of consciousness that thrives of our divine souls. This quantum aspect of ourselves, which for learning purposes we'll refer to it as consciousness, is literally an electromagnetic gravitational force field that surrounds us and flows through our bodies. Now, whether you call this force that flows through us energy, spirit, vibes, the subconscious, the superconscious, or an electromagnetic force field, it's a fact of life. It is responsible for dictating the thinking, feeling, and choosing that we do at approximately 400 billion actions per second. Our body, the physical, is only 1% of who we are. The other 99% is this electromagnetic force field of consciousness that is flowing through us and surrounding us. This is hard science, specifically quantum physics. And if you're interested in the academic links, I'll provide those in the description below. And if you guys want me to do a video where I break down the quantum science of trauma, comment nerd out below, and I will humbly offer my nerdy services to you. Now, when our field of consciousness experiences any sight, sound, touch, smell, or emotion that occurred during that past trauma, our brain processes this information as Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, code red, red alert, we are not safe. Our brain then tells our nervous system to release chemicals that drag us back into that fight, flight, fawn, or freeze mode. It is literally the releasing of the trauma kraken.
Release the kraken!
This is why any unhealed past trauma, especially childhood trauma, can still deeply trigger us as adults, like the experience is happening all over again, because we are carrying the soul memory and heavy emotions of painful experiences. So this is the basic psychobiology of surviving in the shadows of trauma. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, sign up for the free Transcending Trauma Master Course located in the link in the description, where we'll go deeper into the science of trauma and how to heal from it. So, we have a foundational understanding of how traumatic experiences affect the physical body, the 1% of ourselves, and affect the other non-physical 99%, the quantum consciousness of our thoughts, emotions, and electromagnetic energy that is responsible for our thinking, feeling, and choosing in the physical world. Now let's move on to the 9 free actionable steps that you can use to transcend trauma of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. 6 will be focused towards the physical body, and 3 will be focused towards the non-physical. However, please understand these do not work separately with each other. They must work hand in hand together. It's balance. All of these tools will assist you in transforming your pain into power. They are also located in the free wellness resource guide that can be found at the link in the description below. I put together a plethora of affordable wellness resources and a PDF that comes with a special bonus. Now, on to the 6 physical healing tools. Guided breathwork. Our breathing patterns dictate the state of our nervous system. Whether we're anxious or calm, our breath determines how well we are processing our emotions. Are we aware of our feelings? Are we honoring them and listening to the lessons that they have to teach? Or are we repressing them and creating a state of depression? Just starting your day with 5 minutes of guided breath work programs your nervous system to decrease the levels of stress. So before you start diving into healing trauma, which is shadow work, give yourself a solid foundation using breath work. In the Wellness Resource Guide, there are guided breathwork links ranging from 3 all the way to 30 minutes. Choose one that works for you and do it 3 times a day. As soon as you wake up, at noon or a break at work, and before you go to bed. Commit to doing this for 21 days. You will notice a positive shift. Do this for 40 days and you will notice an extreme shift. You are worth this time. Discipline is the key to our liberation. If you tried any type of specific breathwork practice and experienced some positive changes, share with us in the comments below. This is a community of healing and growth, and we all have something to contribute. Number 8, grounding therapy. Grounding is an ancient practice that is supported by current day research. In the description, you will find a link to the science of grounding. Basically, our bodies are like batteries as well. We have positive and negative charges within our bodies, from our cells to our tissues, our muscles, etc. It's what keeps the body going. When negative energy builds up, we can release this negative energy into the earth. That's the basic science of grounding. The earth will neutralize this negative energy, leaving us feeling lighter. Practical application. Let's say you're feeling triggered and highly emotional. Anger, anxiety, sadness, etc. are all fighting to have a seat at your table. Go to a park or somewhere where there's grass and dirt and stomp your feet into the ground. Lay your body on the ground. Squat and do breath work. Allow yourself to honor the energy that you're feeling and flow through it. In the Wellness Resource Guide, there are grounding techniques that do not require you being out in nature, just in case you don't have a safe place to be. You can still take benefits of these grounding techniques to neutralize the negative energy in your body and come to a place of peace, so you can work through whatever emotions that you are going through at the moment and get to the root cause of the lesson they're trying to teach you. All right, number 7, tapping. Tapping is a technique that can bring your energy into a more balanced state within 3 minutes. Tapping applies gentle tapping pressure on specific points of the body that correlate to our nervous system. These tapping sensations affect a specific part of the brain called the amygdala, which is about the size of an almond and primarily is involved in emotion, memory, and that fight or flight response that we talked about. It is one of two almond-shaped cell clusters located at the base of the brain, the back of the profound head. Even when we are not in immediate danger, if we're stressed out, that amygdala is just active. It's firing off all the same fight or flight signals in our body if we were in a traumatic experience. When we tap the amygdala, it basically sends a signal to calm down and chill. And after one round of tapping, you'll feel that grounded energy. You'll feel less anxiety, less stress, and able to cope and grow through whatever energy that you're in at that moment. On page 45 of the Wellness Resource Guide, you will find a link to a mobile app that offers guided tapping protocols for stress, anxiety, pain relief, and many other common stresses of life. These are available for free or a subscription. Keep this app on your main screen so when all those low vibes are fighting for a seat at your table, you can give them a pink slip by taking that moment, opening up the app, and tapping it out. Now, let's dive into our top 3 for the physical body. Before we dive into the next free resources for healing trauma, I wanted to acknowledge that sometimes even discussing healing trauma can be triggering. So for those of you who are feeling a bit triggered in this moment, tap into this 15-minute guided meditation to reduce the intensity of your triggers. For those of you who are excited to move forward and learn more about these free resources, empowering you to heal from traumatic experiences, tap into part 2 of How to Heal Trauma for Free. Namaskaram, Divine Soul. Ashe.